Hi, we're working on Grade 3, Module 5, or fractions. Today, the page we're working on is Comparing Wholes Input page. It looks like this. So we've been talking a lot about making a whole. I'm going to put that away from last time. We've been talking a lot about making a whole. So it's coloring in all the parts in one shape and making it one whole. What we need to talk about now is the fact that not all wholes, not all shapes are the same size. For example, I could tell you that I ate half of my lunch today and my sister only ate 1/4 of her lunch, but she ate more than me. And you might say, well, that doesn't make sense because half is more than 1/4, which is true, but what if I said, well, my lunch was one sandwich, where my sister's lunch was much bigger. Maybe her lunch was an entire pizza. So even though she ate 1/4, she ate more than me. And so it's really important to define what whole we're talking about here. So let's look at our sentences. Not all blank are the same size. Not all wholes. And remember, this is whole like all of it. So W-H-O-L-E. Excuse me. We can't work with fractions that aren't from the same size wholes. So you can't add up fractions that come from different size wholes. It just doesn't work. It wouldn't make any sense. Let's look at what we have here. So we have two circles. They both have one piece colored in. They both have 4 total pieces. So the fraction to describe both of them is 1/4. But this one is much bigger than this one. And so in this case, we would say that this 1/4 is greater than that 1/4. Okay, even though usually 1/4 should equal 1/4, it doesn't if the whole is different. Okay, let's look at our next sentence. Both models show 1/4, but they are not the same whole. W-H-O-L-E. It is important that you know the size of the blank when you are working with fractions, the size of the whole. So this is especially true with story problems. You want to make sure that you know what size you're working with when you're working with the fractions. It can get a little bit confusing. If you just see numbers, if there's no context to it, if you see the number 1/3 and 1/8, then you're asked to compare them without any model, without any explanation, you can assume that those come from the same whole. But your teacher may try to trick you, or it may come up in real life. What if your mom had 2 different size candy bars and she said, I will give you each 1/2 of a candy bar and that will be equal. I bet pretty quick you'll catch on to the fact that the smaller candy bar is not the same size. Half of the smaller candy bar is not the same size as half of the big candy bar. Okay, that's it for me today. It's time to work on your output page. I'll see you next time.